Welcome to part 2 of chapter 1. We will continue by looking at the euro area. In 1957, 6 European countries decided to form a common European market, an economic zone where people and goods could move freely. In 1999, a common currency was introduced known as the euro. So what was the benefits of the euro? It had symbolic importance after the World War II. A number of euro members such as Greece, Ireland, Portugal went through deep recessions after the financial crisis. And lastly, we ask ourselves, is the economic cost greater than the economic benefit, since there is worry that the symbolism of the euro will come with substantial economic costs? This figure just shows the growth of the EU group over the years. The European Union had an output of $12.2 trillion in 2012 at current prices, and the output per person was $36,838. Looking at unemployment, labor market institutions caused the high unemployment rather than macroeconomic policies. Some economists believe the main problem is that European states protect workers too much. Therefore, the solution, they argue, is to be less protective to eliminate these labor market rigidities. European Union key indicators. Table 1.4 shows the growth, unemployment and inflation in the euro area for 1980 to 2014. Look at the first two columns of Table 1.4. Even during the pre-crisis period from 2000 to 2007, the euro area was not doing very well when compared to the United States. The overall picture was of a slow-growing economy with high unemployment, and not surprisingly, the crisis made things worse. Looking at China, China had an output of $8.2 billion in 2012 at current prices, and the output person was $6,071. So why the interest in China? China showed strong growth since 1980, and their output per person is not on US-EU levels. China's key economic indicators. Table 1.5 shows the growth, unemployment and inflation in China. Looking at the first two columns of Table 1.5, the most impressive numbers are for output growth. When you compare these numbers to the numbers for the United States and for Europe that we saw earlier, you understand why the importance of the emerging economies in the world economy, and China being the main one, is increasing so rapidly. China's sustained growth. Output growth is indeed very high in China. So where does this growth come from? First is high accumulation of capital. The investment rate in China is about 40%. And we know that more capital or higher investment leads to higher productivity and higher output. Second is rapid technological progress. There are agreements and cooperation between foreign and Chinese firms. South Africa in comparison to other countries. When looking at the figure and when comparing South Africa to Nigeria and Egypt, we see that over the years, South Africa's GDP declined. However, we see the opposite in Nigeria, which shows increases in GDP over the period. Other countries to consider. This concludes our world tour. There are many other regions of the world we could have looked at, such as Japan, which is also a large industrialized country, Brazil, which is a developing country and showed long period of growth until recently. Russia also grew up to the financial crisis. India's growth levels were similar to China. And then BRICS is an association between Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And then the next chapter, we will be looking at the revision of key terms. And then here is a YouTube link for the crisis. And that is all for chapter 1. Thank you for listening.